Hello again, everybody. Second Tech is here by WWE Raw review for tonight, Monday, March 9th, 2015. Well, as we head towards this Raw tonight from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, there's been a lot of questions about the road to WrestleMania. But where are we going? Max's girlfriend's here watching me. Leah, of course, you've seen Savannah. If you've been watching my videos, Savannah's been making an appearance. It's her daughter. We were like, this doesn't feel like the road to WrestleMania because it hasn't been hyped up enough. Well, I think tonight answered a lot of questions. 2 matches are official for WrestleMania. 1 match could be official as of tonight, especially if we saw at the end of Raw as finally the mind games were over involving one man who knows the move, RKO. So let's kick off tonight's Raw. Also with a great promo tonight from Paul Heyman. I'll get to all that. Let's kick off with Randy Orton. He came out with the authority. Now, I think everyone has been attuned to Orton's game plan about what he was planning on doing, as you see by the subtitle. That Orton was playing the authority like a fool, playing him like a fiddle, pretending he was on their side. It seems that way, and it seemed that way as we head towards Raw. He was kind of officially welcomed back into the authority this evening. You had all the authority down there, Big Show, Kane, all them, Rollins. And Rollins is playing it cool. He was like really playing. He was falling for Orton's trap. You see all the other authority members were saying to Rollins, don't trust Randy. He's playing you like a fool. And I love when Randy Orton basically was joking around. Although he wasn't joking later on. But no. Okay, bye, Leah. Thanks for watching a little bit. Billy's making that cameo. I love when Orton came out and he made those jokes saying, like, what happened to the authority? We used to be banging strong down with pussies, basically. I love when Orton was like, Big Show, you're no longer a big giant. You're just a giant who likes to bench and moan a lot. It's Kane, instead of kicking asses, you're kissing asses. And those statements will be brought back into play. And he was making fun of Jamie Noble. Oh, God, the jokes of Jamie Noble were kind of funny. Making the short jokes and the relevance jokes. And then he looked at Joey Mercury and he's like, now we go to 7-1. I love that. He basically skipped Joey Mercury like everybody else skipped him. Everyone forgot it was an Eminem. I miss Johnny Morrison. I missed him. John Morrison. And Melina, I miss her too. Anyways, can't believe that he's had so many drug problems, yet he's still in the company. Yet Morrison and Melina were fired. I know they caused politics backstage, but I was like, come on. Anyway, and I was making all these jokes, and he's like, I'm playing around. And of course, the big one was like, when he said, you think we're going to get in that? You think we're going to set everything up? I'm going to put you in a precarious position, and when the time comes, when no one's in my way, I'm going to kick your ass. And as we shall see, that plan may have come to fruition. But as we give a plan for the main event, which would involve Randy Orton and Seth Rollins teaming up in a 2-on-1 handicap match against Roman Reigns, stemming from Randy Orton's interference in the main event of last week's Raw involving Rollins and Reigns. We have, of course, gone with the ongoing Intercontinental Championship chaos, with the champion, Bad News Barrett, still without his belt, going up against Daniel Bryan, a man who could be added to the ladder match, and I think he should not. He should have his own match. It could be Stardust taking that 6th slot. Now, as official on SmackDown, we knew R-Truth was official on Monday for the ladder match. Now we have, as I have fully predicted, Dean Ambrose, Dolph Ziggler, and Luke Harper joining the fray with Bad News Barrett. Moves about Daniel Bryan made attitude going on till Stardust stole the title on SmackDown. So we would see Dean Bryan against Bad News Barrett, and a guy who's been kind of been a little bit too comfortable in the announcer's booth lately. R-Truth, carrying a bag. Didn't have anything in it. He put something in it. Easy match between both these two guys. It's kind of weird they were both in Nexus together till D-Bryan got fired after the Nexus' debut on the main roster after he choked out Justin Roberts. Not Justin Roberts is fired. Anyway, good matchup between these two guys. Very good back and forth action with D-Bar coming in with some big moves till Barrett started coming with his big power moves going. He was trying to set up for his big moves. Trying to set up for, of course, either the Ridge of Chains or the Wasted, or, of course, specifically trying to go for that Bullhammer. But as Wade was getting back control and trying to end his losing streaks, could have been his Intercontinental Champion. Yet he's a man without a belt and a man on a losing streak. Kind of losing prestige on the IC title a bit. And the losing streak continued for Wade Barrett. As he had the big flying knee from out of nowhere from D-Boy. 1-2-3 victory for D-Boy, getting big ovation. But D-Boy wasn't laughing for long, as he would eat a bullhammer for Wade Barrett. But as Barrett was celebrating his bullhammer post-match attack, Dean Ambrose came up from behind, getting ready for his match. Clotheslined the hell out of Wade. Bad news, should I say. Deliver B&B his own brand of bad news. And Dean Ambrose will take out the man who currently went out as the IC champion, Stardust, who took the belt after SmackDown, during SmackDown. It's kind of weird. The bad news bear, like I said, is the IC champion. He's been losing a lot. Like I said, minusing prestige to the IC title. So we have Dean Ambrose against Stardust, the eclectic Stardust. Now, I would love to see Stardust in an IC title match, but it'd be kind of sad if he's in the title match. Because I think a lot of us would love to see him face off against Goldust. But that hasn't continued on since after Fastlane. And I think the night after Fastlane, Goldust cost Stardust a match. I thought that feud was going to continue. But we haven't seen Goldust in a couple of weeks. So I think they had the match at Fastlane. That was it. Even though it was a screwy ending. With the referee miscounting. But if they don't have a match at Mania, it'd be kind of sad. Because I think Goldust deserves to have a last match at Mania against his brother. I thought that was what they're going with. But now it's apparently Stardust going for the IC title match instead of Daniel Bryan. Which is a good thing. Instead of seeing D-Boy being tossed in with a bunch of guys who are getting big pushes. Like Dean Ambrose and Dolph and all of them. D-Boy has his own match. Instead of being bundled up in that match. Against returning Sheamus. Hopefully returns soon. As a heel. So, a lot of pros and cons involved in these situations. So, Stardust will come in with his eclecticness. Cause annoyed by the endless chants of Cody from a decent Philly crowd. Cause being the first, actually, Pittsburgh crowd. First Raw or any live event in WWE since the Royal Rumble in the state of Pennsylvania. Of course, Philly booed the hell out of Batista. I'm surprised they didn't boo the hell much of Reigns. But anyway, so we saw Stardust coming with his big moves. And Ambrose coming with his flying moves. He does a big flying moves up in the air and stuff. Even Stardust got tossed into the announce table in front of R-Truth, who stayed for that match as well on commentary. And Ambrose came back with his own flying moves. And then coming back with the Dirty Deeds, following a big bulldog and 1-2-3 victory for Ambrose in a decent matchup against Stardust. And then Wade Barrett came back out to attack Ambrose. And then everyone started coming in. R-Truth came in. Dolph Ziggler came in. Most of the guys besides... all the guys who were in the ladder match came in. Harper came in. And it was just chaos all over. With people getting bullhammered and nailed all over the place. Wade was left standing, but he wasn't standing with the belts. R-Truth stole the belt again. To end it all. After that whole post-match attack. With Barrett coming in like a fury. And Harper, so there you go. Now on to one of my favorite moments of all tonight. It's a decent Raw. Not as promo heavy like last week. Like last week was really promo heavy. But like last week, the promos were necessary. Especially this one. Paul Heyman's promos. The last 2 weeks were really good. Last week's promo, after the whole Lesnar walking out 2 weeks ago on Raw. Heyman's promo last week was excellent. And this week's promo was double epic. As Leah comes back in here. Double epic. Double epic tonight. Once again, like last week, you saw the mic dropping in and out. And Heyman's promo was just one of those classic pipe bombs. A la CM Punk. I heard some CM Punk chants tonight. I think all those people that chant CM Punk should listen to an Eagles song called Get Over It. He ain't coming back. Thank you, Leah. Because it's been a year, guys. He ain't coming back. Stop chanting his name. You've been chanting his name for over a year. He ain't coming back yet. He's in UFC now. And there was a UFC reference. I love when, because there's a lot of rumors about Lesnar's future, that his contract is up, and especially if they walk out on the wall, there's a lot of questions about his future, about going back to UFC, and it testified by soaring up to a UFC pay-per-view. And I love Heyman's promo tonight. He just slammed Roman Reigns to hell. Any chance of Roman Reigns getting cheered again, I think it died tonight. Heyman was just whipping him a new asshole and saying about Lesnar, he has the title. He owns the title. WWE doesn't own the title. He owns it. And he will be champion at the WrestleMania, no matter what happens. And if he wants to unify the WWE title with the UFC title, so be it. That was like, whoa. That was a whoa moment. When Heyman mentioned UFC, like, there's been a lot of rumors about that. And when Heyman mentioned UFC, it was like, oh, man. That would be interesting if Lesnar doesn't win the title at Mania and doesn't go to UFC, still part of WWE. Hey, if Bobby Lashley can wrestle for Bellator and still be in TNA, why can't Lesnar wrestle for both WWE and UFC? That's what I'm saying. Bobby Lashley can do both MMA and wrestling. Why can't Lesnar do both at the same time? Intriguing. Where's the difference? TNA's taped every week. Raw's live every week. So that's a big difference. And I love when Heyman saying that they may screw Lesnar, which could happen because Lesnar's contract is up. And it's like, if there's like a Montreal screw job with Lesnar, he'll be anybody involved and they'll end up dead. You know, there's a great promo. Like, Heyman was just going off. Whether it was a whooped shoot or a wheel shoot, Heyman just went the hell off. Like I said, this promo was just epic tonight. Epic. Epic.
What are you doing?
Now my brother's making a cameo. Hey! None of that shit on my video, please. This is a rated PG-13 video. I swear on this video, but there's no... Interesting. So, try to ignore the love fest behind me with my brother visiting with his girlfriend, Leah. Once again, great promo from Heyman. Like, Lesnar doesn't talk. He has the perfect mouthpiece. That's why they're an interesting combo. Because Lesnar, he's the action. He's the warrior. And Heyman's the woodsmith. And once again, he pulled off a great epic promo tonight. And I love the UFC stuff. I'm surprised Heyman talked a lot about behind the scenes shit. Everything. So they didn't really address about what's going to happen after Mania, but they're threatening Brock could go to UFC. So still didn't answer a lot of questions, but still a great promo from Heyman. Epic promo. Speaking of Warrior, mentioned Warrior. They're having a new award this year in the Hall of Fame. The Warrior Award, named after the late great Ultra Warrior. And it's honored a person with intensity and passion like the Warrior, and they're giving it to young Connor, who was a young fan who was diagnosed with cancer, became a great friend of the company, especially Daniel Bryan. He was at WrestleMania. It's kind of cool they're giving it to him. So it's kind of cool they're giving it to his family because he passed away right after WrestleMania last year. And that's a cool move. That would be a great move right there. Now on with our next matchup. And like I said earlier, Orton's words, jokey or not, came back to haunt the Authority as we would see Big Show and Kane take on Ryback and Ward. I thought Ryback was up for a big push. He was up. I thought he was going to challenge Rusev at one point, but that died down after he got fired. Now he's teaming up with Ward and sometimes Dolph Ziggler. So I hope Ryback gets back pushed up because nobody cares for him again because he's teaming up with Warren. So I hope Ryback gets pushed up again. I hope he regains momentum again. He regained that momentum when he came back in October. Now he lost that momentum again, as I had feared after he got fired. So I feel bad for Ryback. Hope he gets back soon. Then we have, like I said, this match, okay matchup with Kane and Big Show trying to get on the right foot. But then some miscommunication came as Ryback was interfering, a little distraction. Rowan was knocked against the ropes. Kane held him down against the bottom rope. Big Show was setting up for a KO punch to Warren. But Warren dunked it. Kane got the knockout blow instead. And with Ryback taking out Big Show outside the ring, Warren took advantage of that miscommunication with the 1-2-3 pin on Kane. And Big Show and Kane were arguing it out. And Stephanie McMahon came out. We didn't see Triple H tonight. He's preparing for Sting. we did see a Sting promo. Is this me, or did he deepen his voice a little bit? I don't think that was Sting's voice doing his promo. Anyway, Stephanie came out saying, "Hey, Owen was right. Joking or not, you are a bunch of pussies now. You're no longer the big red monster who kicks asses. You're the guy who kiss ass. If Big Show's not the guy who's a big giant anymore, he's just a whining pussy."
Hey, it's PG-13.
Going towards Reno. PG-13 for language. Anyway, and Stephanie's like, "Hey, you just big whinies. Get out of my wing and get out of my building." So we see the Big Show and get kicked out of the building, making Orton probably smile backstage. Start a dissection of getting all the Authority members out of the ring to maybe set up a big move on Rollins, as we would see in the main event. Now, on to our next segment. Now, last week, I said this on my reviews over the week about celebrity involvement in WWE. Sometimes they're great celebrity spots, sometimes they're stupid. Jon Stewart's celebrity cameo last week was pretty good. Very funny spot. Wiz Khalifa coming in tonight in Pittsburgh. I'm a disc jockey. I like his music, but Wiz Khalifa's performance was
Awesome.
some would say unnecessary to wrestling fans. Die-hard wrestling fans don't like. There's already learned that wrestling and music should not collide anymore. Attitude Era worked well, but now it's like I did like Damien Mizdow. That segment with Miz and Mizdow continue up their communication problems after that Niagara commercial last week, which was funny last week. Sometimes the jokes seem corny, but that's funny. We had Mizdow Khalifa. Mizdow Khalifa. That was kind of funny. And he had like the fake wig and stuff. That was kind of cool. And I think Mizdow was officially in the Battle Royal. Wiz did a medley of black and yellow, We Them Boys. And the crowd mixed with stuff. Because like I said, we have a mixed audience. You have not a lot of people who's Wiz's main audience. You're performing in front of kids, Wiz Khalifa. You talk about smoking weed and you have a bunch of kids in the audience. Oh, she has a kid. She listens to it.
I would take my kid to see it.
Hey.
Just kidding.
Yeah. Parents have a choice. They can choose to let their kids listen to it or change the channel. So, anyway, after that, we had a match between AJ after a return last week, taking on somewhere. Now, I was hoping we were going to get a fatal four-way match at Mania for the Divas title after AJ's return last week during the match against Nikki and Paige. But instead, we get a tag team match at Mania. Bye, Leah. Thanks for watching me again and getting involved there. It'd be AJ and Paige teaming up against the Bellators at Mania. I was hoping they weren't going to go that route. They did. They're going that route. So AJ returning, taking on Summer Rae. They're trying to give Divas a chance. They have the hashtag going on, but NXT Divas are still kind of better. Last week's match was pretty good between Nikki and Paige, despite the screwy ending, which called AJ's return. But tonight, AJ looked pretty good out there against Summer Rae, who's not the best wrestler in the world, but AJ got the quick victory with the Black Widow, making her tap out big time, even with a ghost to be fired. The Kim Kardashian of the Divas division, Summer Rae, friend, Eva Marie, should be fired big time. Rey Mysterio got fired, Eva Marie should be fired. Anyway, that's a story for another day. So AJ got the victory. Bellatrix was watching from ringside, actually backstage. They didn't get involved. But AJ and Paige have been frenemies, friends, enemies. They've been up and down, but differences aside to take down a common enemy, the Bellatrix. Well, I'm hearing their contract is up. Hearing for what happened. Total Divas match. Now on to our next scenario. Now we've been seeing Cena Rusev. I knew that eventually Cena was going to make some convincing. It was going to take some convincing. But I knew that Cena was going to find a way to get Rusev to say yes to him to accept his rematch at WrestleMania for the U.S. title. I was hoping Ryback would get the shot, but now they're going with Cena. Super Cena, after losing it fast but passing out, Cena's been begging for a rematch. I think he accepted the fact tonight. But he played Rusev like a fiddle, like Orton is, or was, to Rollins. As we'll see, Rusev take on Axelmania. Because Axel. I said it on the last couple weeks. I kind of like that gimmick, getting him over like that. By saying that he never really got eliminated from the Rumble. He never got in it. He was taken out by Warren. He had a clock out there in his Axelmania shirt. That was kind of so funny. But it wasn't funny he got knocked out less than a minute. Faster than Ronda Rousey's knockout at UFC 184 or leave it alone. You know what I mean? I'm making a joke. Rusev got the quick victory. Punch, kick, accolade, victory for Rusev. And Lana was trying to get him to not talk, which he did talk, but taking down America after Cena's promo. But not saying something bad about America. He said that you Americans are heartless and spineless. You have no souls. You're making fun of America. And then Cena came out, beat the hell out of Rusev, doing what Rusev did to him. Knocking him out in his signature submission. Like Cena got knocked out in the accolade, Cena knocked out Rusev in the STF. Then he pulled one on him, got the STF back on him with him tapping out. Too bad it wasn't a rematch. But still, Rusev was tapping. And Lana had to do something desperate because Cena would not relinquish that hold. They had all the referees out there, all the officials out there trying to break Cena's hold because he was making a statement. He wasn't going to get over Rusev saying no to him. He was going to convince him to get that match. Yes. And Lana had to be like, Cena, let him go. You get what you want. You were going to match at WrestleMania for the U.S. title. And Rusev was not happy backstage. He was speaking in Russian. He was not happy that Lana had to succumb to peer pressure to save his ass. She had to say yes to Cena and his ultimatum and finally give him the rematch at WrestleMania. And Rusev will probably lose to Super Cena. So, I hope Rusev does get back momentum after he loses his first match to Cena at WrestleMania. But of all the matches to lose in, at least he would lose at WrestleMania, a big match to lose in. Even if it's against Cena. Now on to, speaking of champions losing matches, we went from the IC title losing match to a tag team champion match with the champions losing that match too. With a little inadvertent distraction. We have Cesaro, Tyson Kidd, taking on two members of the New Day. Of course, Xavier Woods and Big E. I've been saying this every week. Turn heel, guys. Like, the gimmick's not getting over. You know, the happy-go-lucky attitude didn't get Adam Rose anywhere. He's going back to NXT now. Hope he turns heel there. Because they cheer his ass in NXT. Because some NXT guys, when they go to the main roster, they don't do well. As the Ascension. Anyway, and Emma, among others, that did not succeed in the main roster like the Shield has. Bulldozers included in that too. Anyway, New Day needs to turn heel. I said it from the beginning, they need to turn heel. Like a nation domination, that's what they should have done instead of this gospel thing. It was a little blip as the Cesaro and Kid came out there. The bottom tail Titan Tour was airing their promo, yet the top was still airing the New Day video. Cesaro and Kid were looking well. I've been loving these guys. I've been praising these guys for being a great tag team. Decent matchup between these two teams. And I'll give Xavier and Big E credit. They do good double teamwork like Cesaro and Kid were doing. But it was Natalya who did a little distraction. As Natalya distracted Tyson for just a quick second, following going for a sharpshooter, Xavier Woods, who was the legal guy, took advantage of the distraction. I think during that transition to try to roll him up, I think he botched the landing. Botch or not, he got the pin. 1, 2, 3 victory. Pin of the tag team champs. I don't think New Day should be number one contenders in my opinion. Because I don't know, right now, I don't know if Cesaro and Kid are going to defend the titles at Mania or not. And if they all, don't defend them during the pre-show again. Because I think if I was correct, they had a match last year at Mania during the pre-show involving the tag teams. Including Cesaro and Jack Swagger, who break up that night. So after that, we go right from that to see Natalya wrestle against Naomi with the Usos at ringside. And they should give these two a lot more time, but still, for what we got, they put on a good matchup though. They should give them way more time and get the guys out of it for distracting. Because like what Natalya inadvertently did to Tyson in his match, Tyson kind of did the same during Natalya's match. Distracting Natalya during her match, causing Naomi to capitalize on the distraction with the We Revere and the 1, 2, 3 victory. In a fun match though, should have been longer. But the Usos weren't able to have enough time to relinquish that victory, as they would have to get back into game face mode as they would be in a match next against Los Matadores and El Torito. I think there was a theme to these 3 matches. Distractions would cause people to lose. We had an entire distraction during the tag team match between Cesaro and Kid against the team of the New Day. We would see an entire distraction cause the Tyson distraction causing the entire match against Naomi. And we would see El Torito kind of getting involved, distracting the Usos in their match. It was a decent match between both these high-flying guys. And this is when they were doing the CM Punk chants. Get over it. Get over it. Good and fun match. Both these guys have kind of the same kind of high-flying style. Good high-flying action for both these great teams. Even though if Primo and Epico, Diego and Fernando have been getting over lately. And at least we ain't seen El Torito take on Hornswoggle anymore in those ridiculous matches that got more ridiculous. And Hornswoggle's feud against Chavo Guerrero kept going on and on. Like the feud. This is the feud that doesn't end. Never, I know we don't like long feuds anymore. This generation of fans, we're freckle now. But that feud just went on forever. Hornswoggle and Guerrero. And Hornswoggle and El Torito too. Anyway, fun matchup. Then El Torito, like I said, distracted one of the Usos. Diego would capitalize with the pin. 1-2 big victory from the Los Matadores. We could have ourselves a triple threat tag team match in Mania. Actually a fatal 4-way. Between Usos, Los Matadores, Cesaro and Tyson, and Los Matadores and New Day. 4 teams. We'll see. I think they did that last year with 4 teams. See if they did that again. We'll see. Now, speaking of matches that are now official at Mania, not only do we finally see Rusev succumb to Cena's demands and finally, with some convincing, finally give Cena a rematch at Mania, we finally got the official award on Undertaker versus Bray Wyatt. As we've been seeing, Bray Wyatt's been through these promos for the last couple of weeks, but really have not mentioned Taker by name until at Fastlane when he came out in a coffin. He lit one on fire last week. And this week, he brought out the urn. And another great promo from Bray. He's been delivering great promos. He's always been delivering great promos. But his feud against Taker, he has to do all the promo building because I don't think Taker's going to appear until Mania. And anyway, Bray Wyatt opened up the urn after delivering a promo saying that I went down to the buzzards. And below the buzzards with a fallen, broken man, Taker. I'm not scared of you. I think Bray Wyatt's kind of like the voice of the haters. Of the doubters, should I say. Said, Taker, nobody fears you anymore. Your mystique is gone. You don't have what it takes anymore since the streak is gone. But I think Taker has got a lot to prove the doubters won. And we'll see what he looks like at Mania. Because I don't think we're going to see him at Mania. I'll get to why in a second. So Bray opened up the urn. Nothing came out of it at first. Then smoke came out of it. And then the gong hit. We thought he was going to come out, but he didn't. Instead, the mind games would start. A couple hits on the gong, a couple thunderclaps, and in the ring was Bray's rocking chair. Which I thought was destroyed by Dean Ambrose a couple months ago. But the rocking chair came out, and like what Bray did to the casket, lighting it on fire, the chair would light on fire, as a graphic would appear on the screen saying that Undertaker, at WrestleMania, the man comes around, mentioning a Johnny Cash song. Apparently Taker's a Johnny Cash fan, because he's been using Johnny Cash songs in his promos for years. Now, in my mind, I think this is what we're going to see. The mind games of Taker go on, without seeing a Taker appearance until Mania. I don't think he's going to appear on Raw in person until Mania. This is like what he did with Kane back in WrestleMania 20. He did all the mind games through videos and vignettes. He never really appeared in person until WrestleMania. Because it was a transition period for him. He was going back to the old school Taker look. He was getting rid of the American Badass biker gimmick and going back to the old school Taker gimmick. With the hat and the robe and everything. So that's why you didn't see him for a while, because he was transitioning back to the old costume. But I think now they're keeping him off to now have him save all that energy for Mania and get back into fighting shape again after looking weak against Lesnar. So we shall see if Taker's back to fighting form and if he can really silence the haters and say, with or without the streak, I'm still the dead man. Because I say this a lot about Taker. You challenge Taker, you talk a lot of talk, but once you go into Taker, lose the mystique of the streak or not. When you step in that ring and you hear that gong and Taker steps out, all your braggadociousness goes away. You're like, oh shit, it's Taker. I'm dead. You know what I mean? That's what can happen. It still could be a good match because Bray Wyatt could get over big time. But it's good to help both guys. Taker could get Bray Wyatt over, and Bray Wyatt can help Taker reclaim his mystique again. And try to get back into fighting shape again. Maybe start a new streak. You never know. Now on to our main event. We would see Randy Orton and Seth Rollins team up against Roman Reigns in a 2-on-1 handicap match. Well, it's kind of 4-on-1 with James and Security out there. With Kane and Big Show already out of the picture. With them out. I think Randy Orton was, like I said, setting up the perfect kill. And of course, as we all know, it happened. As we saw, it was a good segment. Like, Reigns was being decimated by Rollins in the ring. It's basically Rollins the whole time. Well, Orton never really got in the match. He got involved outside the ring. As Reigns was outside, where he got distracted, and Noble was like, come on, Orton! He's in a perfect position! Take advantage! Beat him up! And Orton's like, I don't listen to you! You don't tell me what to do! I'm Randy Orton, bitch! Bang! Smacked him down, and Rollins sent them both to the back. So with no authority members to save Seth Rollins, I think Orton had the perfect plan into place. All the authority members were out of the way. And it was Orton's time to finally turn on Rollins. The authorities been telling Rollins, and Rollins was like really falling for it. He was oblivious. The authority was saying, don't trust Orton. He's playing like a fool. He's just pretending to be on our team just to get you sucked in and get your ass kicked. And get a match set up for Mania. And the plan was worked to perfection tonight. And the plan worked out exactly how Randy Orton wanted. None of the authority was around to save Rollins. And I love the way it was all set up. Rollins was taking advantage of Reigns. Reigns looked okay in the matchup. Minimal reception. Not as much bruise as I thought for being back in Pennsylvania. The state of the crime. It wasn't in Philly, where the Rumble was this year, but at Pittsburgh, the arena that cheered them to hell against Batista at the Royal Rumble last year. So then we saw Rollins get his bucket. Reigns was starting to come back. And Reigns was taking control back, and Rollins was trying to get the tag to Orton. Orton stepped away. He refused to tag, and then I love this. Orton just flipped him the bird. You saw like a little bit of the bird, and then they had a wide shot. You just see Orton doing this. You just saw a little bit of the finger being TVPG and all, but just that was just great. And I think Orton's gotten better since he came back. I like this, Mike. Dude, I'll say this. Orton's a better promo guy than Reigns. I'm serious. Randy Orton cuts better promos than Roman Reigns. You think everyone's been like, oh, Randy Orton's monotonous. Randy Orton's boring. Now Roman Reigns is boring. Like I said, fickle fan base. But you can't deny it. Randy Orton puts on better promos than Reigns does. So after Rollins got the bird from Orton, it just left him prone to a spear and the 1-2-3 victory for Roman Reigns. And Orton just feasted on Rollins with no one to save his ass. His playing Orton playing Rollins like a fool worked to perfection. Beat him up in a big brawl outside the ring. He just brawled with him. He just beat his ass all over the arena. Nailed him against the steel steps a few times. Brawled in the crowd. Nailing him a bunch of times with steel chairs. It was just a massive, maniacal assault for Orton. He was letting all of his frustrations go. You know, what he did at Fastlane was just the tip of the iceberg. He was just teasing Rollins for what was going to come after Fastlane. After pretending to be part of the authority again. Now, wait, I didn't like that at first, the slow turn. Because I thought I was going to turn on Rollins immediately. But I think the slow turn's been interesting. But the fans have been kind of off and on Orton. They've been cheering him. but they're not supposed to cheer him because he's supposed to be a heel. But I think they knew he was setting him up. I think the fans knew that Orton was going to do the slow turn. I think it's been done effectively with a slow turn, with Orton playing the authority like a fiddle and setting him up for the ultimate betrayal. Turning on Rollins at last tonight. It all ended up with Orton dealing with the DDT, the Hangman DDT on the top of the barricade, all leading up to the RKO on the table. And it was a good spot, though. I've seen that a lot of times, but still, it's a cool spot to see. As Orton laid atop a fallen Seth Rollins to end Wall. So I think Rollins and Orton will be official soon for Mania. Now that the seeds have fully grown. You know, we've seen the seeds planning for the Orton turn. And now the seeds have grown really big as Orton finally turned on Rollins tonight after turning on him. And with all the authority members out of the picture, with Big Show and Kane out, and Jason Security sent to the back, all the guys that were trying to talk Rollins don't trust Orton, with them out of the way, Orton had the perfect opportunity to get Rollins in a precarious position with no one to help him. And that's what he did. Took advantage of that situation, bang, beat the crap out of Rollins tonight. And heading towards Mania, I think we finally feel like we're on the road to Mania night. But it was up and down one night. It was okay, well, but the segments did their job. So I think it really feels like the road to Mania now, with the great Paul Heyman promo, Orton turning, and of course, finally getting official, Wyatt and Taker. So Wyatt and Taker's official. Rusev and Cena's official. Of course, Lesnar will be at Mania, and there's no backup plan. Lesnar apparently agreed with WWE for probably a temporary plan, just to at least wrestle till Mania. Till then, and after that, who knows? Then we got AJ and Paige tonight taking on Bellas. That's official for Mania. And the Battle Royal is official with a lot of people in it. Ladder match. 6-guy can be Stardust or D-Bry. We'll see how that goes. We'll see if Sheamus returns by Mania time. Or maybe after. Who knows. But we may get a tag team title shot. Or a tag team title match official next week. Maybe Nash should be announced for Hall of Fame. Or Larry Zbyszko. We shall see. Because I heard Zbyszko's name was tossed around for the Hall of Fame. But it was the announcement of Connor being honored at the Hall of Fame with the Warrior Award. So there you go. That's it for my Raw review tonight. Thank you very much for watching. That in mind, y'all been attacked by the review from Zach. See you later.